up, y'all? It's Kymmy Coco, your host of Connecting the Dots podcast, and we are here today to discuss current events as we do every week. We're sponsored by So Mississippi Candles. I hope you guys have gotten your candles. If not, make sure you hit them up. SEAUX MississippiCandles.com. Make sure you check them out. SoMississippi.com is the website. Also, shout out to everyone that has been hitting us up and commenting. Thank you for participating. I said once upon a time I was going to start reading some of the comments, so maybe this week I'll get into doing that. We try to keep everybody up on, think about what's going on, what we're posting, and do your own research and come back and give us your opinion, because that's what we do. That's what we're here for. We have had so many things go on this week. I don't even know where to start. Bill Cosby got out. That was like the most shocking thing, because I think everything else we kind of anticipated, the Supreme Court rulings, the new laws that went into effect in Georgia. We saw all of that coming, right? But it's just like we woke up the other day. What was that, Tuesday, Wednesday? Mm-hmm. And they were like, Bill Cosby is about to get out on a technicality. So we can start off with that. So you guys, when you heard Bill Cosby was being released, did you think it was going to be that same day?
Shit, when I heard he was being released, he was released. Shit, I seen him walking out the jail.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah, I seen him walking out the jail. But I was telling you on the phone, like, I don't really be digging too much into it. I don't even know what the technicality was. God bless. Like,
but typically when you hear somebody's getting out of jail, you expect it to happen like a year later or 6 months.
Right, because you think, they're going to have to go through the process of parole or whatever the situation that gets them get out. But Bill Cosby was released on Wednesday after Pennsylvania's highest court overturned his sexual assault conviction, saying the actor's due process rights were violated. The panel of Pennsylvania State Supreme Court judges said, in their opinion, a former Montgomery County District Attorney's decision to not prosecute Cosby in 2005 in return for his deposition in a civil case was ultimately used against him at trial. So basically what happened was he'd already agreed to confess in the civil trial. They were going to sue him, before he was criminally prosecuted. And so he agreed, okay, yes, this is what happened, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. In exchange for that, he was not going to be charged criminally, and they did. And so the Pennsylvania Supreme Court decided to honor the agreement that he had made initially. So that's why he got out. So people have been all over the place.
When did he make this plea? Like, for them to just now find that out, and I feel like he should be owed some I don't know about back pay, but it should be something that, because I don't like how they can throw you in jail, because we always hear about them stories, people that he was locked up for 20 years, he got out after 20 years.
Yeah, we hear that all the time, right?
Like, what are they really doing to compensate for that?
This is what happens. Those people that were wrongly convicted before, now they have to go through the due process, and get their lawyers involved and file the paperwork and that, unless they'll settle and just give you what they think you deserve or what they think that they can afford to give you. That's what ends up happening. It happens all the time. This is not him being cleared. This will still be on his record that he was convicted of sexual assault. He already admitted that what he did, he already admitted to what extent he was involved in the charges. I'll say that. And so it's not like, okay, I see people saying, I knew he was innocent. I knew those ladies were lying. No, that's not what happened. He admitted he admitted what happened. And in exchange for him admitting it, they said, you cannot be prosecuted criminally. That's what the civil court decided. And so the judge in the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania freed that man. Felicia Rashad has been under fire all week because she said, you know, she was glad that he was out, basically, and people were like, you know, that's very disrespectful to the victims of sexual assault.
People so contradicting though.
Alleged.
Because when your people's locked up, you screaming free your peoples, right? Well, you might not, but I know people. Your people's locked up for murder. You talking about some free him, free this person. So you contradicting.
I mean,
like
if you
Right.
look at it from
you
the perspective of
yourself.
somebody
Everything
that,
T-shirts and
wrong,
everything.
wrong is wrong. At the
if
end
you
of the
look at
day.
it from the perspective of someone that knows him, I think people should kind of understand she's happy that he's out.
Yeah, that's her friend. Like,
And
that's her
from
business
the
partner.
perspective of people that are sexual assault victims, or people that kind of feel that the justice system and older men, or just men, some are very misogynistic, and it's just like, you know, everybody has a right to their own opinion, and social media is where everybody voices that opinion. So I mean,
I still don't think it's, and I mean, I guess this is kind of going to like even with the weed stuff, but I don't think it's fair that you getting like punished for stuff that was legal during that was normal during a certain time period. Not saying it's never cool to, you know, do anything we want, but I'm even saying like even with the weed, like I feel like, you know, I don't feel like people should get punished for stuff that happened back then, right now. Like 40 years ago, now you want to come up and get punished. I'm getting punished for it now. But during this time, this shit was acceptable. So say
That's a horrible argument.
20 years from now,
Yeah.
say if we having this conversation and
Right.
Bill Cosby come
Right.
and kill us for defamation or some shit like that.
right.
It's just like, what?
Well, that's why you have to be careful what you say on these platforms. Like, let's just be real. And this is just going to be the ongoing theme for this episode, because we're going to lean into the Sha'Carri Richardson story after this. But, like, you can't change the rules in the middle of the game. Like, I don't understand how you can't understand that there's two people that feel different ways. I don't think anybody should be punished for feeling the way they feel. I could totally sympathize with women that were sexually assaulted. I can empathize with women that were sexually assaulted and understand that that might trigger them to see the person that sexually assaulted them just be let out or whatever. Now, you're looking at it from these days, right? And even back then, and that's why I look at the guys now, the famous guys, the rich guys, the guys at the club, and I'm like, don't y'all see? Because I say this all the time, the universe is going to tell you, even if you don't want to hear it, it's going to scream to you. So if you guys see sex trafficking, like if anything, you put yourself in a position that you might even be accused of that, you probably shouldn't do it. Okay, like you said, maybe back then, they were into that. That was the social thing. They still do it now, so I could totally understand.
We can become that. It could be 20 years from now, a girl, he smoked a blunt with me. And now it's a problem. But right now, that's not a problem.
It is. It still is, and it still could be if somebody made it that way.
Right. And that's what it was like. So why should I be punished because all of a sudden you made it that way 20 years later?
So there are some that you can say that for, and there are some that were genuinely felt like they were wronged, and they were tricked, and they were misled, and they were lied to, and they were manipulated.
Can that really happen after?
That can happen.
No. I'm not.
Look at R. Kelly. I mean, you got to think about
what I'm
how
saying
long
is,
he got away with it.
We don't really know what R. Kelly got away with, and I'm not defending R. Kelly by no means am I defending him, but we can't really, you know, we're accusing him of, you know, something we personally feel an issue with. You know, I don't know that, you know, we don't take up that same fight against, you know,
Boys.
women or women in Africa and other countries who are, you know, being, you know, forced to marry at a very young age, you know, and we don't frown at them. In fact, we kind of, oh man, we got to go back to the motherland.
That's true, but
It's acceptable in certain places and it's not.
Right. So we don't really know.
you
That's
got to
the
think
things are
about,
acceptable.
okay, this man has a problem.
Well,
And I think that you people maybe not be able to wrap their head around it, but it's just like it's there. He has a problem. He has a problem. What is it in your mind that makes you think that you should be able to? There's the problem there. He does it's young girls for a reason. I'll say that.
It's a problem because we was taught that it's a problem. Our culture has taught us. No. I'm not saying that it's right.
True,
and I'm not saying that it's right. Yeah, but
even in our culture, technically, he didn't break the law.
He did. The girls were minors.
No, they weren't. They were 18.
No, they were not.
Yeah. So in this particular state, as long as you're over the age 16.
But some of those girls were 13 and 14.
No, that wasn't the case.
Aaliyah was 15. Like, they were young. But even off of him, because I can't with him.
See, but yeah, you're right. That was a huge distraction. And that was not nearly the direction we was trying to go. The point is, you was like, he was asking how can you hold somebody accountable for something they did 40 years ago. We were, enslaved 400 years ago, right? And then not very long, maybe 60, 80 years ago, the rules, the civil rights was way off. They're still way off now. And we're still trying to hold people accountable for it. Well, so there's no statute of limitation.
I get what you're saying to that point. But
if somebody did something wrong.
So I get it. Slavery was a normal thing. But I feel like we always felt like slavery was bad. Like, you feel me? We never was on board with, like, the difference is, and I'm not trying to say that these women are not, like, these women were on board with the drugs and they were on board with that partying. We never was board with slavery. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be a slave. Like,
right. So there's a difference.
But were we? Because not we, but I'm going back to like biblical days, and slavery was an exchange. It's like you're in debt. They didn't have.
That was indentured servitude. So if that's the case, then they owe us some shit.
So chattel slavery and indentured servitude. But the whole thing is, if you owe me something, that's not what happened to us. Because chattel slavery and indentured servitude is different.
What Black is saying, the difference between slaves in that time and women, they're choosing. There's no way that you're tricked by believing that lifestyle doesn't exist in this atmosphere that you're indulging in, or that you're breaking your neck to be a part of.
Well, that's the thing. So
you can't complain about. That's like going into the woods and complaining that there's trees there.
But no, you don't get to do that to me when I come to you for a situation where you can offer me something, or I want to get to know you, or I want to get your expertise, your knowledge, your wisdom about the business, and you say to me, oh, "Okay, relax. Here, have this. This will help you relax." Like. What? Like,
or you could just say no and leave. You don't have to take that though. And I'm saying this like, and I want to tread carefully because I'm not trying to. Hold on. I'm not trying to disrespect no women. Like, I'm not trying to discredit no women, but at the same time, like, everybody has to be accountable. Everybody has to hold themselves accountable. Like, just like the example you brought up, she don't have to take that.
But you don't.
If you so drunk, you so thirsty for this opportunity, whose fault is that?
I think that's a slippery slope.
Who fought it? Like, you want this opportunity so bad, I'm going to take these drugs.
Think about how many judges, the whole system to hold him accountable in that way would have jeopardized so many other countless.
I think the crime was already committed when you offered the person the drug. Like, you're in a situation where
if I offer you,
that's being polite.
A blunt right now, I'm smoking a blunt. And he probably taking it with him. So if I'm smoking a blunt, I offer you a blunt to smoke with me. Is that a crime?
That's being polite.
No.
Opioids was a thing back then.
They were never a
thing. They
were. Yes, they were.
They're a thing now. That's why you have opioid abuse.
We used to be on that back in the day.
But it's abuse. You're not doing it legally. You're not doing it for what it's intended to be done.
What was it intended to be done for? Partying. Oh,
no,
you're right. I get what you're saying. You talking about like the medicinal.
What? Hold on. So it's not a crime. So it's not a crime. It's not a crime to take the drugs. That's a crime too. That's the second crime. That's worse than the first crime. Technically, because you know you're doing something wrong, but you indulge in it anyway.
Well, listen, he's out, so we'll get to see what happens with him. What these guys are saying, I think, is, and I could be wrong, I'm not going to try to put words in your mouth, but what I'm understanding from what you're saying is if women should just pay more attention.
No, women and men. I feel like everybody
men.
should be accountable. Like, it's not victim shaming. And like I say, I'm not discrediting these women.
I just don't like.
I don't know. Me personally, I wasn't there to even give an accurate account or an accurate opinion. I'm just saying from just the loose shit I know and just the general, just like basic shit. Like, everybody has to be held accountable.
The other thing that happened this week was U.S. track sensation Sha'Carri Richardson. She got her ticket to Tokyo. She won the women's 100-meter race last month, but she's been suspended after testing positive for THC. She failed the drug test following her Olympic qualifying 100-meter race victory in U.S. track and field trials in Oregon on June 19th. She accepted the 1-month period of ineligibility that began on June 28th. The suspension takes her out of the running of her signature event at the games, but she may have a chance to run the 100-meter relay race. So she still has the opportunity to run in one of the races because it'll be after her 30-day suspension. Athletes who test positive for a substance of abuse, which THC was newly classified as in 2021. So this is new that THC was classified as this. Usually receive a 3-month suspension if they can establish that their use of the substance occurred out of competition and was unrelated to sport performance. She successfully completed a counseling program regarding her use of cannabis, which under USADA rules knocks her ineligibility down to 1 month. So she was supposed to be suspended for 3 months. She went to counseling. They gave her 1 month. She admitted she knew what she did was wrong. She's okay with it. She accepted the results, the consequences of her decision. She came to do an interview and she said, look, I did this. I'm accepting it. I was going through something. I'm paraphrasing here. And she lost her mother, and she shouldn't have done it. She's accepting it. She still has an opportunity to participate in the Olympics, not in her signature race, not doing what she does best, but she can still, who knows? She might ace that one.
But you see what the underlining to all that was? Accountability.
She took full accountability.
She's not, like, I don't understand, like, everybody's complaining.
Victims.
Yeah, everybody's complaining, and she's like, I did it. I messed up.
She took the first offender.
Yeah, like, I messed up. That's it. Like, what else? I mean, what more can you feel me? I understand people mad, and again, like, even what you saying, the rules are the rules. Like, at the end of the day, you're not running this. This is not Sha'Carri Richardson Olympics. This is the Olympics. Like, they have their rules. You have to follow that. You can't be mad if people got rules.
I do think that, but some rules are just stupid.
It is, but that's your, like, if I go into your establishment, and you got a rule, I think the turkey leg hut, they got a dress code now. Like, I have to respect your establishment.
Eat a turkey wing?
Turkey leg.
The shit in Texas.
I mean, I got to dress a particular type of way to eat a turkey leg.
No cleavage. It was a bunch of stuff, but I still have to
You
respect
have to
your
see
establishment.
these people in Houston and how they dress. It's sort of like Atlanta, but
unless I come short and being
worse.
naked, like
yeah, you might see some of that.
That's all right though. They just came to get a turkey leg. If I want to eat a turkey leg naked, that should be it. So you should just want the money.
But anyway, back to her. This is what happened. People are up in arms about how she should not have been suspended because it's cannabis, and they keep bringing up all this stuff. And my thing is, she accepted it. What message? Y'all are giving her more stress. You're fighting a battle that she's not even fighting. Like, exactly. She accepted it. She's dealing with it. She's already this was on the 28th of June. She's already like 10 days in. It's not even 30 days anymore. It's 20 days now. And everybody is like, they shouldn't have. No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't have added weed. They shouldn't have. But guess what? They added it when she accepted to run, to compete, to be in this game. So when you, like you said, you guys were clapping for her when she won because she made it into this Olympics. This is still that same Olympics that y'all were happy that she got into a week ago.
Showing support. Maybe they're just showing support.
But
nah, I think
how are you not supporting her? Because she accepted it. She said that she was like, I was wrong.
Well,
so if you want to support her,
stand with her.
you stand with her and
Well,
say,
you know
what? The message out of this should be this young girl. She did this amazing 2.8 second run, and she did it like flawlessly, fly, just like black girl magic. She messed up, and she was like, yo, I'm going to be better next year. I might not be an Olympian this year, but I'll be a world record breaker next year. I'm good with it. And y'all are like, no, because they should never have weed in like, what?
But the rules, it just seems very
Okay,
because
but that's
they've
how
been
they
watching
do.
her develop. They've seen we can't
They
ignore
may have
that.
heard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't that they heard. You literally see this because she didn't just start winning.
Right.
She's been
They
winning
saw
for
the potential in
a
her.
while.
Yeah,
exactly.
they know.
And her attitude and her personality has been consistent the whole time. She changes her hair. She represents us.
The culture, yeah.
She looks just like we do. And that sends such a humongous message to the people that's coming behind her and up under her. Because once we start achieving at this level, then the other ones, we lose.
But what are you as an elder in society? And that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to know our place.
Right.
If you are of a certain age or of a certain lifestyle, or you have lived enough life to have certain wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of life, you should not be like, well, they shouldn't have had me. You sound like the parent that says, well, you guys should all get first place prizes. You know what I mean? No, that's what makes LeBron different than J.R. Smith. That's what makes Michael Jordan different than, what's his name?
I feel
Dennis Rodman. Like, you know what I'm saying? I get it. And they shouldn't have just added weed, because at a time when weed is being legalized and people are understanding more about weed in 2021, why the hell did you go and add weed? No, they shouldn't have done that.
No, they did it on purpose. You got to think
My thing
again.
is this though. We
Again,
know that the odds are stacked up against us.
No,
we do though. We do because we say it every
We
time.
say it
I'm gonna tell you,
all
it's
the
even
time.
more.
Shit happen. We say,
Bro,
oh, they
know
go against
that.
Bro,
black
it's
people.
even worse than that. They changed the marker because they saw us getting close. We was already achieving that. We was already doing that part. But now you come and you change it again.
But where
that's my
don't
point.
they
Like,
do
so-
that at to
but
black
nah, but
people?
listen,
Where
that's
do
my
they not
point.
do that at for black people? We know they do that for
Right,
us.
but we didn't. Who would expect that they would say, "Oh, it's." So I'm assuming that they said she took some THC. She could have ate it.
Yeah, she could have ate it. Absolutely.
She
They
could
didn't.
have taken
I
it
don't know
in
why
a
they're even
tea.
saying
It could have
she
been an
smoked
herbal
it.
tea or something
She
like that.
could have not known that it was in there. Like,
Right,
I mean, she could have taken the route and said, I don't know where that came from. Test me again.
Absolutely, because they're selling it over the counter now.
But she was in Oregon, and
that's
that's where they
so
have. You could have gone to someone's house. You could have gone to a store and unknowingly, but she didn't take that route. That's where
Right.
the message is here. She did not take that route. She said, you know what? Yup,
She didn't fight it.
I did it.
But maybe
I did it, and I knew it was wrong, and I'm going to wait out these 30 days. I'll see y'all next year. I'm going to do it next time. That's what she said. All the chitter chatter is from everybody else. That's where all the chitter chatter is from, because she's not once
But
come out and said.
you don't think like I'm personally I'm curious to know, why did she say that now?
Because she took accountability. Like, if you wrong,
I
you
hear
wrong. Like,
you on that, but
you
still,
wrong. You wrong. Ain't no point of
But
fight.
so what you're saying is maybe her people are like.
I think that we don't take into consideration there are a ton of other scenarios that are happening in the background that this kind of affects it, but she has endorsements. You know what I'm saying?
And
That she
Nike
has to
came
protect-
out and said that they were going to keep her
continue.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe okay, you bite the bullet on this.
And
You
then
know,
again,
we don't go so
But
far.
she still
Again,
could have
but
said,
nah.
I don't know where she still could have, we could have still been
No, you can't do that
investigating
and
it.
keep the
And to
deal.
Kim's
You
point, though,
can't do that and save the
But
deal.
to what Kim said, I think this is usually a 3-month offense. They might have let her off. It was a plea. It might have been a
Right.
plea deal. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah.
bro, I fucked up. And you
meet
gonna still let
halfway.
me off? All right, I'm gonna just, you feel me? I ain't about to fight.
So
this
you
and
could either
know-
take this 1 month suspension and miss the Olympics
Yeah.
completely,
Right.
or take the 30 days and hey,
But
you
she's
can
not even
still
missing the Olympics completely.
You can still participate.
Initially, we got to be that friend that ride for our dog.
That's all
So
it
we
is.
got to be
That's
we
all
got
it
to be
is.
the ones to be like, until you tell us to chill out.
That's
we going
all it
hard.
is. That's all it is.
Well,
But
well,
that's not the right way to
she's.
handle it.
You got to also remember she's only what 20, 21.
She young. I don't
She
So-
like 22.
So maybe she hasn't gotten to that point yet, but if y'all don't stop, she might end up having to come out and say fall back. Like, boycott. Right. Now they're calling for an Olympics boycott.
Which
correct.
Is unnecessary.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's unnecessary. I think it's definitely.
I mean, I don't.
It's a lot of stuff we need to boycott, though. I feel like
it's a bunch of shit.
A ton of stuff that we should boycott.
This is the last.
I feel like picking that to boycott kind of.
Y'all like should have boycotted. If y'all are boycotting this, and that's what I mean. It's just a bunch of riffraff. Because if y'all are boycotting this, why the hell did y'all not boycott the NFL? They basically said black people are slow. They wouldn't let the man come out and say Black Lives Matter. They talk all kind of shit. They don't have any black owners. Like, what are you so upset? This happens every 4 years, the Olympics. Every 4 years. Right. But every few months,
every day there's
some NFL stuff. I mean, so
it's real life shit.
Pick your back, real life shit, corporate shit.
It's real life shit that we could boycott.
Yeah, like these sports. Like, we caught up on the sports. Like, first, with the Olympics, like, people don't care about track and field till it's the Olympic time. Like, right. People want to talk about her. No, in the beginning.
I don't know. She's a pretty exciting athlete to watch, though.
But
I mean, been personally for the past.
So
2 or 3 years.
You've been knowing her.
She's been.
I just got hip to her in the last month.
She's been in the media for a while. Like, she didn't just get here.
Okay, yeah.
She's just getting that mainstream push now.
Right.
But if you follow any sports,
I'm not deep into college sports like that. But I'm sure she didn't just pop up. Also, just honorable mention. Master P's son, Hersey Miller, signed a $2 million groundbreaking endorsement deal. Speaking of sports.
Shout out. Matter of fact, while we was talking about that, shout out to the college athletes. They about to get paid now.
Yes, the NCAA athletes, get your money.
Yeah, how did they work that out?
I don't know the specifics of it, but I think they just. I knew it was a bill in the works to where they get paid from their likenesses.
Man, I thought that should have happened a long time ago. I just stopped looking at it. I was like, man,
they've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah, they've been talking about it for a while. How much money these schools make?
Yeah.
So I'll just to elaborate on that. So we were giving out information. Over the past several years, this was on CSNBC, and CSNBC usually talks about everything that has to do with money. Over the past several years, proposals to pay college athletes have gained popularity. In 2021, survey found that 62% of adults believe athletes should be allowed to cash in. On Wednesday, the NCAA announced an interim policy that allows student athletes from all 3 divisions to monetize their name, image, and likenesses, often referred to as NIL. The new policy goes into effect July 1st, which it's already passed. Yeah. Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, New Mexico, and Texas allow athletes to monetize their NIL. It took effect last year, but there was no federal law, and now the NCAA guidelines allow students to engage in NIL activities so long as they are consistent with the law of the state where the school is located. So make sure y'all find out.
It's gonna that's the part right there.
There's always gonna be that.
Think about it.
So make sure you pick the school that has the laws.
And that's gonna be a problem going forward.
It's gonna be a problem for HBCUs for sure.
Possibly,
it's definitely going to be a problem unless they position themselves. And that's what I just thought about a way that they could.
I was going to say it's a shift right now. A lot of people, like Master P's son is going to a HBCU.
Correct.
So a lot of athletes are taking that route. So they have to I think
they had to do something.
If Bronny James go to a HBCU,
correct.
Now they can go to these spots because they can make their money. They was going to these big schools because they cutting the checks for their family.
So now
they can go to a HBCU because they can get an endorsement from Nike at Morehouse. You feel me?
So now athletes can accept endorsements from brands, monetize their social media presence, and work with professional firms that coordinate deals for athletes. Some athletes, such as Hannah and Haley Colvender, twin sisters who play for Fresno State basketball team and boast a large social media following, have already accepted sponsorship deals, along with, like we said, Master P's son.
There's going to be a huge boom in female athletes.
I think so.
It's going to go crazy because that's going to be their professional league.
Yep.
And the NCAA's current broadcast contract for the March Madness basketball tournament is worth $1.1 billion annually. And that's crazy.
That's a lot of money.
The NCAA released the following statement. While today's decision preserves the law court ruling, it also reaffirms the lower court ruling, it also reaffirms the NCAA's authority to adopt reasonable rules and repeatedly notes that the NCAA remains free to articulate what are and are not truly educational benefits consistent with the NCAA's mission to support student athletes, whatever that means. Listen, y'all, get your money.
They had to leave a loophole.
Find the rules, and find the school that has the rules in the state. Find the school in the state that has the rules that you can go with. That's what it's going to boil down to.
It's going to hurt a lot of schools, though.
We don't care. We need them to go to HBCUs, and we need them to bring
but
money
we
to
gotta
these
hope
black
that
kids.
HBCU, that state
Most
might
of them
not
are
have
in the
it, though.
South, so we got to figure out what.
Okay, what about the East Coast ones? Is all the East Coast? Because like and I'm just saying, even just all school, that's gonna be a problem. Like, because if I could go to Ohio and make money, I might say fuck California. You feel
Well, it's
me?
gonna
Yeah.
make it makes the recruiting process a lot more
Harder, yeah.
Competitive.
Crazy competitive.
Yeah.
And it also opens the door to create more recruiters. It also opens up the
Absolutely.
door to create more social media
strategic
managers.
opportunity.
There's also opportunity to be a whole bunch of stuff. Because I was saying to my homegirl, look, Sha'Carri should not have gotten on the Today Show right then and there and said that. That was a horrible interview. She needs representation. She needs a publicist. These are all the opportunities that are going to be coming up. And all you guys, take advantage of that. Create your own business and start it off as like a hobby, something fun. And then get your paperwork, file your taxes, and do this thing, because our athletic abilities, we keep everything going. We're always the stars in every sport. We just take over and we rise to the top. So make sure we keep that money circulating in the black.
I got a hot take.
Hot take alert.
When it comes to football, I feel like this is the beginning of the decline of the NFL.
Woo! Finally.
And I say that for the simple fact
Because
that
everybody won't have that goal,
to get money, because you're going to the NFL for the check.
Right.
Now you get the check in college. It's just like, and then you feel me, they already talking about the injuries, and people are already
You
taking their
might
kids out of
make
football.
money out of the college years that you don't
And
even
you
have to
good.
go to the
I'm
NFL. You
good,
can
like-
start a business, or you can do whatever.
good.
Now you
I'm
can go
good.
back to the college and do what we were talking about and match them up and get them deals and not have to put your life on the line for these people, because you see what the NFL is doing. That's exactly right. And it also frees up the mind of college athletes, because they don't have to run and try to get into the NFL. Now y'all could go start your own league.
So I don't mean to be a negative Nancy or a Debbie Downer.
Or NFL fan. What is this coming from?
Oh no, I don't care about that. I care about the people.
Right.
So, in history has shown us, every time we get excited about a reward, we never expect the risk to be greater. So when they move the marker, just know that they're also going to. There's something that we're not seeing, and we miss it every single time because we don't think objectively and strategically. When we need to figure that part out before we can make a clear decision on whether or not this is a good thing for us or not just yet.
Well, I think it is. I really don't see the downside yet until we get to the point where we may see the college athletes get so much money they don't complete college. You know what I'm saying? Or they might.
That's not
see that
necessarily a
now.
bad thing.
Yeah, we see that now.
That ain't necessarily
They
bad.
they leaving early anyway, like for the check.
That's not
Right,
bad.
For the check,
because
so.
just like they implemented the rule that you had to finish college to go into professional sports, you may see now where they don't want to. We don't care. I made $1 million in my first 2 years in college.
I think the thing that will happen though, kids will become more enthusiastic about finishing high school now.
Yeah.
Now parents will be a lot more. Hey, listen,
That's gonna do
ain't
good for
nothing else
high
out
school
here.
sports. High school
Yeah.
sports is gonna be jumping now.
Oh, it's gonna be,
And that's
it's
gonna help
going- it's
again,
going
like he
to be
said.
crazy.
It's gonna be.
I'm
kids,
excited.
It's gonna be
Right.
kids like I'm gonna stay in school now because
I wanna go to
I might not make it
college.
to the NFL, but I'm good. It be them college athletes.
But
they
there,
get caught
there's
up in
also
the
that
streets.
risk of more extortion, there are some things that we have to.
We gotta
clearly
just
keep our eyes open.
Keep our
for,
eyes open.
you know.
Community, black community alert, black community
Yeah.
alert.
We gotta
Time
wake
to
up.
pull together.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I said,
It's gonna take a
elders in the black community, look out for these
Hey,
young
this
athletes.
can be honestly, this can be a good a wealth shift. This can be a
This
huge
is a
wealth
huge.
shift. This can really be a huge
I
wealth shift.
feel that everything is shifting, right? I feel
Right.
like everything that we're saying, how you say, they move the mark. Same with voting. We vote like hell after
But
2008.
it comes with a
It comes with a price.
different.
It comes with a price.
Not
We got a
necessarily
black
the price,
president
but
for 8 years, and
if-
now we're still paying the price.
The greater the reward, the greater the risk. So it's not a price; it's a price that you can avoid paying. I hope. You know what I'm saying? We just need to know what that risk is. What are the risk factors that come along with this new reward?
July 1st, there were a lot of new laws that went into effect. We're here in Georgia, so I usually focus on Georgia, but sometimes Florida, sometimes California, whatever state that has a lot going on. But right now, today, we're going to talk about Georgia. Whatever state you're in, make sure you find out what laws are in effect. So let's start with Georgia. House Bill 286, which will block local governments from significantly cutting their law enforcement budgets. So you know what everyone was screaming all summer at these protests?
Defund the police.
Yep.
Now they just got more funding.
So what they're implementing now is local governments will not be able to significantly cut their law enforcement budgets, which a lot of city council and mayors in these cities have decided to do. In Georgia, you will not be able to do that. You will not be able to come in as the mayor of Athens or of somewhere in, I don't know, and say, Marietta, and say, you know what, I'm cutting the budget for police because I want to give more money to whatever. Then you're not going to be able to do that anymore. It prohibits cities and counties from reducing their law enforcement budget by more than 5%. So you can cut it, but not that much. In 1 year, or cumulatively across 5 years. No local government in Georgia have followed through with proposals to significantly reduce police funding. So that's not an issue here, what they're saying. But if you were thinking about doing it, and now election time is coming up, 2022 is a really important election year in Georgia. I need y'all to tune in. I need y'all to keep up with Connecting the Dots. Follow us, CTD_ATL on Instagram. We have a Facebook page, innovativeblackstation.com. Make sure you check us out and stay in the loop, because 2022 is going to be huge. So right now, anybody in Georgia that's running, you might as well take that out. You can't be like, I'm running, I'm going to defund the police, because you only could give it 5% decrease. And that, House Bill 317 increases taxes on most short-term lodging rentals in Georgia. So you know what that means. Airbnb.
Oh, Airbnb is about to get hit hard.
Yeah, they got
I saw that coming.
But they said you
They
gotta
did the
pay
same thing.
it's like a registration fee or something for them now. You gotta have your license renewed and all.
It'll make them equal to what guests at hotels and motels have been paying. Beginning Thursday, most short-term lodging rentals in Georgia will charge their guests a nightly $5 hotel fee. Local excise taxes, which can reach 8%. The cost will be passed on to renters on their bills. I'm going to a hotel. If I got to pay what I was going to pay, I'm going to pay somebody to change my sheets and come in there and fluff my damn pillows. Buy Airbnb. Y'all should have fought harder for this, because now nobody's coming to you. Sorry.
Well, they'll figure out a way. I mean, that's just the same thing like between Bitcoin and fiat currency.
But all these, they getting out of control. Like Airbnb, they getting out of control with their prices. Uber is getting out of control. Like, we about to go
They're
back to
going
the
to make
regular
us
shit.
pay for what
Taxes
they
and
missed
all
out
that.
on last year. That's all. That's what they're trying to do.
No, because they're making laws like this that's causing them to get taxed harder. So if Airbnb is paying an excise tax, man, excise tax ain't no joke. You just put your tax bill like 60%.
House Bill 466 ends on exemption for prospective 17-year-old drivers. Starting July 1st, they will be required to take 30 hours of classroom instruction and 6 hours of on-the-road training that currently require drivers of under 17. The new law requires anyone under 18 to complete the training before an initial Class D license can be issued. So 17-year-olds, you're going to have to take tests. You're going to have to take a driving test. You're going to have to do all that stuff that I did when I was growing up. I don't know what the hell y'all do in Georgia and why the hell you giving people driver's license and they ain't took no damn test, but you can't do it no more.
When they got driver's license without taking the test? Like, when did that happen?
Like driving school, probably. You
Yeah,
talking
because
about like,
typically Georgia is the leader of law enforcement. You know
Well,
what
when
I'm
it
saying?
comes, but you have to think,
we
most
wouldn't
of Georgia is rural, and they don't care, and babies drive. Like everybody that can reach the pedal, you just drive.
I feel offended.
Are you from Georgia?
I'm from the rural area. Yeah, I am from Georgia.
Oh, well, you get it then. How long was it when you started driving?
I've been driving my whole life.
That's what I'm
I
talking
don't
about.
remember ever not driving. That's why I felt offended. I felt like
That's what I'm
told
talking
the
about.
babies driving.
Right.
Right. I was a baby. I was a baby.
House Bill 466 ends an exemption for prospective. Okay, we read that already. What's the next one? Senate Bill 221 lets state leaders create leadership committees that can raise campaign money during the legislative session, while lobbyists are trying to gain approval of legislation or stop it from passing. The measure, pushed by Republican majority and opposed by Democrats, also allows the new committees backing Governor Brian Kemp's reelection and those legislative leaders to raise and spend unlimited contributions from donors, essentially circumventing current limits on how much individuals, special interests, and businesses can give to candidates. They just gave a blank check to whatever crooked person wants to pay to get somebody elected.
sound normal to me.
I mean, I feel, and I'm a little excited because again, this is one of those situations where now the risk is our reward. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It kind of forces us to get behind, at least one person who we can really, really push instead of diluting our efforts across 3 or 4 different people. You know what I'm saying? Because Georgia blue.
Georgia is blue.
It's blue at the moment. We'll find out if it's blue for sure after this governor election.
But it's still red when it comes to state laws because we only have the majority in the federal government. We have John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock that are senators in D.C. So we have 2 voices in D.C. that will stand for us, and us meaning, I guess I have to say Democrats, but I don't even like that. Because right now there's no
Democrats make that wouldn't be the way to really
but
do it.
in the state itself, the Republicans have a majority, and that is the problem because it's not representative of the state
Because people aren't voting properly.
because people aren't voting properly. Next year, 2022, this year, 2021, when city council and when the governor and the local stuff happens, that's when you stop this kind of foolishness, or that's when you get your voice heard.
Well, I don't know that you stop it as much as find a
You
way to
sound
exploit
off
it
on it.
ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You sound off on it. There was also a law regarding citizens' arrest. I gotta look it up. But yeah, I think that election one really.
Citizens arrest. Governor Brian Kemp signed House Bill 479, which was the repeal of Georgia's citizen arrest law. Kemp and state lawmakers have been pushing for the repeal for nearly a year following the death of Ahmaud Arbery. And the shocking video that circulated months later.
I
Kemp
just feel
said
like
during the signing ceremony that he was proud to sign the bill while also protecting every Georgian cut off.
So the law was first enacted in 1863. So you know what that means.
right.
To allow white Georgians to capture slaves who were fleeing to flight in the Union Army. Later, the law was used in the 1900s to justify the lynching of black people without repercussions. HB 479 will remove citizens' arrest from the state law while still allowing employees at businesses, those conducting businesses on someone else's property, security officers, private investigators, and inspectors at truck scales to detain someone they believe has committed a crime. It also allows law enforcement officers to make arrests outside their jurisdictions. So sometimes I'm driving down the street and I see a cop, and cops make me nervous. And I'll say,
Yeah,
that's
for
a
my
Marietta police officer, and I'm in Smyrna. So, nope. They
Right.
could pull you over too. Don't get too comfortable. And especially around here, because in Atlanta proper, you can have a small amount of marijuana on you and you will get a ticket. But if you're not in Atlanta, which could mean a block, an inch, or a yard.
You're not in Fulton County.
No, it's Atlanta.
So
Well,
this
that's
is
Fulton County,
issuing
ain't it?
tickets. For
Atlanta
marijuana?
is in Fulton County, but there's also a part of Atlanta that's in Cobb County.
Oh, true.
And there's
true,
also
true,
a
true.
part of a small part of
I don't
Atlanta.
think they're issuing
that's
tickets
it.
for
The
marijuana
cab.
now, are they?
Decatur. What?
Yeah, they were. It's decriminalized, which means you're not going to go to jail, but they'll give you a citation.
How can they give you a citation for something you can buy at the gas station?
Because you can't buy
You can buy the flower at the gas station.
THC, but
How they gonna know that in the
Well,
Remember we was
that's
having that
good.
debate. They had a debate for a minute.
Right.
they did have a debate on a previous episode. We talked about this, and they are going to give cops, I know they probably have them by now, but they were going to give them something that you could tell if there's THC. And if they wanted to be bothered and do all that, but I don't see personally as a cop them doing this. But you could get
Right.
the asshole cop that pulls out the whole situation
Right.
and does it right there. It's like, oh no, it just, but
crazy.
you are giving them. See, my thing is, yeah, do what you want to do. Is it right? No, absolutely not. But you're taking your chances when you do it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he pulled me over. See, he's an asshole, so he shouldn't even. No, like, you know what the rules are now. You know what I mean? So you got to know what the rules are. This is something I learned when I was 16 years old. My driver's ed teacher said something to us, and I will never forget it for the rest of my life. Was my driver's ed teacher, I don't know what his name was. I'll tell y'all, but I think his last name was like Ruggiero, Mr. Ruggiero. He was like Arthur Fonzarelli, okay? He had a black leather jacket. He had his hair combed back, and he said, you know what? Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
In any situation, we've been talking about that the whole episode. Just because
Period.
you ignorant
That's
of
the
the situation,
takeaway.
like
That is
not,
the takeaway from this episode. Just because I used to drive to New York all the time, right? In New Jersey, you can make a right on red. And the difference between you being in New York and in New Jersey is just you going through a tunnel or crossing a bridge. It's not that serious. You don't even pay attention. It's just like another part of your neighborhood, you think, in your mind, right? But I can't make a right on red in New York. So as soon as I get to the edge of out of the tunnel, of course they know, the cops know that you're going to come from New Jersey and start making rights on red. So they used to park outside the tunnel and pull everybody over and give you a ticket. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Is it my fault that you didn't know, that you didn't do your research on where you moved to? Is it my fault that you moved from Ohio and in Ohio y'all do whatever the hell y'all want to do and you come to Georgia and you're like, hey, we do this all the time? No. Do your research before test the water before you jump in. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. We just sat here and told y'all what happened effective July 1st. On July 2nd, if you don't know that, that's not anybody's fault but yours. When stuff happens and I sit here and we talk about stuff and one of my friends does exactly what we discussed on this show, I have no sympathy. I'm like, what? You
Should've
knew.
watched the show.
You should have watched, You should have watched the show.
So I feel like that's where your job becomes very important, to make sure that we know.
Yeah.
It's that's your charge, because it'd be like us going to the dentist. I can't pull my own tooth. I don't know what
Right.
goes into that. So I'm trusting your expertise. So thank you. We got to
Yes.
trust your expertise, because I had no clue that I get pulled over for making a right turn.
See,
I just learned that. Or that I would get a ticket for having some marijuana on me. I didn't know that.
Yeah. In states where it's decriminalized,
Right. So it is.
It doesn't mean that it's legal. Like,
Right.
that's another thing people don't understand. Like, it's decriminalized means you're not going to jail today. I'm going to give you a ticket, or I'm going to give you a warning, because we've already established in this jurisdiction that this is not illegal. In Oregon, everybody was saying, well, it's legal. She could smoke weed or she could take edibles in Oregon, so why is she in trouble? Because she's not on trial. Nobody said she did anything criminally offensive. They're saying she broke the law of the Olympics. Has nothing to do with that she did anything criminally.
Yeah.
No, because guess what else you can do in Oregon? You can smoke crack. They decriminalized all drugs.
Yeah, and that's even like, if I'm in California, I get a job, I might still have to take a drug test.
Because just like wearing a mask. Everybody, I'm not wearing a mask because it's going to take my freedom. You could be as free as you want, ma'am, outside of my establishment, because when you come here, you're going to have to wear a mask.
Again, you have to follow the rules of these places. Like, you have to respect, like, if I go into your establishment, I have to respect your establishment.
Right.
Or she don't have to be, it's a choice to be in the Olympics.
To another establishment.
It's a choice for her to be in the Olympics. They're not forcing her to be in the Olympics. America's not forcing her to be in the Olympics.
And going back to your point that you made, when we were on the phone, I made the same point. Okay, who told us that she wanted to be a part of this? She could be the fastest motherfucker that everybody in her town has ever seen, and everybody in her town could have been like, yo, you got to see this girl, and we're going to go get her. And she'd be like, okay, go do this because you're going to win. And she could have been like, oh, okay. You know, like, she's not sweating it. She's going to college. She's running. They're putting her in all this stuff. How do we know that she doesn't want to just smoke weed all the time? And she could do that. She gets her degree from college. She does this and that. She probably like, look.
Okay, I changed my protest. Let her run if she want to.
She don't want to. She ain't tripping.
She broke the rules though, so they can't just be like, oh, if you want to run still, you can run. Because they still got their shit in place.
Because everybody that they're comparing her to.
They just made that rule.
That's
they
made
that
bullshit,
rule. It's a BS rule.
That's
I'm
some
not
bullshit.
I'm not giving them any room on this one. You changed that rule during a pandemic. You changed the rule.
So let me ask you this though.
That's crazy.
I feel you.
During the time where more people are making weed.
Because we're all dealing with anxiety at a level that we've never, as a country, we're
Her
dealing
mother
with.
died.
Let me ask you this. You got a restaurant, right? Or you had a restaurant, right?
Correct.
You ran a
Correct.
restaurant. So say if in your restaurant somebody come in and do some shit and then fuck with your business. So the next day you like, effective today, we not doing this shit. Y'all can't come in here with open toe shoes.
I'm gonna tell you something I have learned. This is what I learned being in business, and especially running that restaurant. It didn't belong to me. I was just the overseer. A business that serves the community belongs to that community.
But I'm saying,
And I did make
was it
rules
certain
like that.
things in place that you felt like this is your business?
Absolutely.
So you let the community make the rules of your business? Is what
Not
you're trying to tell me.
necessarily. There are some standard house rules, but guess what happens? The community can choose not to shop with you, and that has happened.
And that's all she can
and
choose
guess what
not
you have
to go
to do?
to the Olympics though.
Guess what? No matter how bad you want to be in business, if no one is shopping, ain't no business.
But listen, if your product is good, they're gonna continue to shop. That's why none of our boycotts work.
No,
because
our
these
boycotts
products
work.
are so good.
Our boycotts work against one another, so they work.
Yeah, but
we go hard
we
to
have-
work.
They don't work.
We have
they
to
work,
stay
but
together.
They work against ourselves.
because our product ain't good enough. If my product is good, I don't give a fuck a motherfucker don't like me. If I got the best
We
product,
still go to McDonald's. McDonald's don't like
man.
you.
If I got the best product, they coming to see me. That's why
Walmart don't like
motherfuckers
you.
still. Hey, Gucci just spit in our face. Motherfuckers is still shopping
I
there
don't
because they
wear
got the
Gucci.
best product.
I don't
So,
rock with
quote,
Gucci at all.
It's certain shit that motherfuckers got the best product, or they just got a chokehold on shit like grocery stores.
That's ignorance.
If all the
and-
grocery stores said some shit about black people, where are we gonna go grocery shopping at?
Bro, that's Willie Lynch mentality, brother.
No, it's not. It's the reality. Like it's the
No,
reality.
it's reality, but the reality is because
It's ugly, right?
It's because of that psychological warfare that's been implemented on us for
Right.
decades. So
Right.
it's nothing you're saying is wrong. It's absolutely correct. What I'm saying is, I had a restaurant, and if the community supported my restaurant the way that they supported, Walmart or other businesses, my business will still be open.
So you saying you willing to in the basic terms? Hold on. You willing to basically be ran over by what customers want just in order to keep a business?
Your paraphrasing is extremely broad.
It was. That was like when you get to the root of this shit.
No, I don't believe you can lead. I don't believe you can lead and follow at the same time. I'm saying that you have to know who you're leading and what it takes to get them to follow you and what it takes to get them.
So we have a perfect example, and one of y'all brought it up: the turkey leg hut.
The turkey leg hut.
Okay.
Perfect example.
When the turkey leg hut decided to implement a dress code, we heard all about it.
They chose a side. They chose their customer, and they.
But turkey leg hut is been so successful because of the customer.
Confident in their product. They confident in their product. If I'm confident in my product, I could charge.
So
Nipsey Hussle charge $100 for his mixtape because.
So let's tell everybody what's going on that for the record, because people don't know. The Turkey Leg Hut is in Houston. Okay, it's a restaurant. It's standing firm after its recent dress code changes were met with strong but mixed reaction on social media. Turkey Leg Hut, which is known nationally for its turkey legs smothered in various dressings like crawfish, macaroni, it become a staple in Third Ward community. Third Ward, Texas. Third Ward.
What type of community is that? Is that like Bankhead?
That let's just keep that in the back of our mind. I'll tell you in a second. Let's keep going. The restaurant had also built a reputation for its upbeat environment. Third Ward, upbeat environment. These are the key elements I want y'all to keep in your mind. Okay. They offer music, cocktails, and hookah. So now get this picture in your mind.
Oh, that's a lit turkey leg hut.
In social media post Friday, Turkey Leg Hut announced its staff will be enforcing the following dress code rules. No excessive revealing clothing, including distressed or ripped clothing that is revealing, and shorts that cover your entire bottom. No house attire. This includes wave caps, do-rags, house shoes, or shower caps. No exposed undergarments, including sports bras, panties, and other garments resembling these items. No obscene language or baggy clothing. No inappropriate graphics or language. No excessively baggy or saggy pants. No swimwear of any kind. In the caption, the post read, "Please know that we are a family-friendly restaurant that serves all ages from children to adults. Daily and putting the dress code in place was necessary to ensure that all parties, from our guests and our staff, are dressed appropriately when entering our establishment. Unfortunately, due to the attire of some guests, we were forced to put the new policy in place, and we remain committed to ensuring all guests, blah, 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 blah." You guys know.
That sounds like a company that's confident in their product.
That sounds like a company that is in Third Ward, which is...
Yeah, break. What's Third Ward?
Third Ward
That's
is
Beyonce from, ain't it?
Third Ward is like Fourth Ward. It's mostly,
upscale.
It's mostly hood, but there's a neighborhood. The neighborhood Beyonce grew up in is a house. It's like homes, nice neighborhood in Third Ward, which is like it's like the hood.
So it's not hood. No, it's not the hood then. It
is the hood. So Houston is in Harris County. Harris County is like Cobb, DeKalb, Fulton, Gwinnett, like all in one. It's big. So you know how Atlanta is split in wards? Houston is split in wards too, but they're so big that you might get an area that's residential in the hood with it. And that's what Third Ward is like.
Okay, I get it.
So Third Ward, where Turkey Leg Hut is all restaurants and bars. But now, where there was nothing or apartments or black residents, it was a black neighborhood. The black people owned those homes in that neighborhood, the residential part. The part where Turkey Leg Hut is, on the street that it's on, now white people are moving there.
Okay.
Now they're building the ones that we have here, those 4-story, $400,000 homes.
So as a business, they're trying to cater to multiple.
They're not. They don't want to cater to our community anymore. So our community shouldn't go.
But black people still live in Third Ward, but like in Fourth Ward, Atlanta, they're selling their homes and white people moving in. It's going through a huge gentrification process.
The thing about black people, like as bad as we don't like rules. We don't like rules.
Yeah.
We don't like rules. Like We have a choice
but,
to not
but
go
those
to
are
this
the
business.
people that made Turkey Leg Hut.
Yeah, but well, okay.
Turkey Leg
If
Hut.
they the people that made
Right.
it,
They don't want you no more.
They always
we don't
had,
need you no more.
They had
we don't
a,
need you no more.
They had a
They can be
DJ.
in this shit too, though. Just like they made them, they can. All we gotta do is stop going. Just like you just said, your business is the community. If the community stop fucking with you, but that's why I say they confident in their product. They confident in their product because they know their product is so good that these black people still gonna come. They gonna make
their product is not too good that someone else won't mimic.
They taking a chance on themselves though. They taking a chance on themselves.
I mean,
That's
they
a
could
crazy chance
move.
to
They
take.
could. The where it is though is a prime location. But you know, on Sunday they have day parties. They have a DJ outside. They have a tent, and the DJ is playing like Beat King and you know what I mean, UGK and everything that we listen to at day parties in Houston.
But they want the culture, but they want to pick and choose what parts of the culture.
But you gotta.
I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying.
And you got to know that some people are going to
know
walk in there with inappropriate clothes on, and you might have somebody in there with a kid, or you might have an older couple. Or, hey, like you said, the new neighbors, the white people might come and want to bring their kid or whatever. Like, the cultures might clash, and I think, like you said, they're trying to cater to a different... Because, look, those turkey legs are like $30 or $40. Let's be honest. They're like $20, $30. They're extravagant turkey legs. It's not like the $5 turkey leg at the fair.
Right.
They have, so eventually they're going to want to cater to a different kind of crowd.
Correct.
I get it. And another thing, don't come in there with your, like, nobody, like, I get it. You're sexy, you're fine, you pay all this. Do that somewhere else. I get it. I don't want to see it. I see people in Houston. I have driven down the street in Houston, and I've seen a girl with her entire ass out, no panties, no nothing, just walking down the street.
What's a turkey leg without a little leg, though?
Okay. Well, you get
Without
your
a little
turkey leg.
showing.
Take your turkey leg down to the beach
Man, I feel
because
like we can't argue with, man, we can't get mad at somebody making a rule for their business at the end of the day. Like,
I'm not mad at them for it.
You can't
I think
complain about it. Like, you can't complain. Just like
Is this
you
a
really
black-owned
can't complain about the NFL.
Yes.
Like,
most of the businesses on that street are black-owned
you have
businesses.
you have to be careful when you're a black-owned establishment.
that's the problem.
No. The problem is
you're
you're changing the rules now. The problem isn't that you have rules. It's when you change rules in the middle. And it's almost like telling the community, we appreciate y'all for helping us get to this point, but we don't need y'all.
That's just like saying you grew up in the hood, you done got older, and now your boundaries changed. That's a problem.
And typically it always is.
But you're doing what's best for you, though.
Oh, correct.
So fuck what everybody else talking about.
So
Like,
remember,
I'm
in
confident of myself.
2019, Turkey Leg Hut was sued over the smoke. The neighbors been trying to get Turkey Leg Hut out of the neighborhood for a while.
The neighbors, as in who? These black people?
No.
The new neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lawsuit that was filed in Harris County District Court in November 2019 that claimed that the Turkey Leg Hut is responsible for continuous production of thick wood smoke filled with harmful something that engulf and enter the plaintiff's homes.
Slippery slope.
The judge issued a temporary restraining order that prohibited the Turkey Leg Hut from using smokers from the hours of 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. daily. So if it's not that, it's the noise. If it's not the noise, it's the traffic. If it's not the traffic, it's the parking. People have been complaining about Turkey Leg Hut since they got there.
So they're trying to appease those people.
Maybe.
When they need to be finding another building.
Maybe they need to move it somewhere else. Or no, maybe they really don't want you bringing your ass in there naked, or with your do-rag on, or with your pants sagging and looking at your drawers while people are eating. I don't blame them. I don't want to see it either. Y'all got to go into these parties and see this
I'm
stuff.
about to say, we don't know the effects of, I don't know football.
But that's the
we don't know the
culture,
effect.
though.
We don't even know if they in there fighting. They might be starting fights. It's
I
a
get
crowd
it.
that is bringing
Listen,
too. Like, you feel me?
As a young entrepreneur, when I first started, I wanted to cater to this idea of a very upscale environment. But the truth of the matter is, people who are really able to afford that lifestyle, they manage their money better and differently. You know,
They might not spend $40 for a turkey leg.
they will spend $40 for a turkey leg, but they're not going to do it at the frequency of You know,
us.
someone who does hair, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
That spends the
quick
money
money,
because they
fast
get
money.
it fast. Yeah.
Right. Correct. So again, it's the culture. You know what I'm saying? Those people are coming because the culture made it cool.
Yeah, because the environment is fun.
Right.
You're enjoying the music, you're enjoying the
Right.
atmosphere, and at the same time, you're enjoying the
And
food.
if you make it stuck up, why would they continue to go?
So we'll see what happens. We'll follow up on that. Maybe one day we'll go there, or I'll go there and I'll do a live from there.
I mean, speaking of stuff with businesses, like I can use my pops as a perfect example. My pops, he runs a barbershop.
Right.
He don't allow cussing in his barbershop. If you cuss, you gotta put money in the thing. Like,
what?
I just put the money in the jar.
I mean, people do,
It's the
but
barbershop.
it's to the point like people respect his, like when they go
His
to his
rule,
bar,
yeah.
they tell him like it's different than going to this. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And it just like he set a standard for his shit. Like it ain't trying to push people away. It's just like I'm setting this standard. Because
Yeah.
this is what I want in my
Respectful,
establishment.
yeah.
I literally left a barbershop where a good barber was because I had to be too politically correct in his barbershop. So,
What?
Is
and
this
you gotta
barbershop?
think-
Is he still open?
Yeah, he's still open. He's still open. And I'm not mad.
That's
at
what I'm
it.
saying. Like
not
his
mad at it.
business is, if your product is good, your business on it, you're gonna lose people. Everybody's not gonna fuck with
I think
you.
you have to be. But see, when we first start out, it's just like somebody make it and they be like, man, this is for the community. I just want to show that we can operate in a different light, and we can do better, and we can be positive, and yada yada yada. And the community's like, yeah, he rocking with us. We're gonna go and we're gonna have fun. You want me to have fun, but you really don't want me to have fun. You want me to have your type of fun. Or
I just don't want to
enough
see your
fun.
crack of your ass when I'm eating. That's it. I don't want to see the crack of your ass. I don't want to see your tits hanging out. I don't want to see
But that's the atmosphere that made
your
it. That
do
got it
rag.
popping.
I don't want to see your pajamas. I don't. I mean, people just get carried away. I don't even necessarily think that it's us because me, I'm a us, and I don't want to see that shit
I'm
either.
us too, and I don't.
I
really-
don't like when I go to a restaurant to eat and the music is pussy, dick, whore, crack, bitch, drink, syrup,
playing
smoke.
UGK.
stuff.
What is it?
I don't want to hear that.
If you playing UGK and 8 Ball MJG, what are we talking about? If
I
we
don't wanna
listening
hear
to
that.
the Swisher House and Screwed Up Click, what we doing? What is the music saying if it ain't saying what you just said? Like what are we listening to? We ain't listening to Juicy J.
You
Like
can
who are we
mix it
listening
up.
to?
You can mix it up. You can mix it
What?
up.
Mix it up with what? What you want to hear? So Paul McCartney in the middle of the hip hop set? Like get out, man.
You can play R&B.
And I also add, like, if you want to go old school,
Oh Lord.
you add Candy Liquor and
Candy Liquor, Betty White.
all this stuff or whatever. It's
Man, it's-
fornication in that music too. You
But-
it's
In the country
it's just
music,
delivered-
too.
It's just delivered a little bit different.
Right. So I feel like you're gonna experience conflict in every crowd of people. I don't care how classy.
But
or
I'm
how
saying it's not even that. It's like when you get to a certain point, you might not want to hear that anymore. You have to also take those people into consideration too. Yeah, maybe you was a loop dancer.
Well, they should take into
But because
consideration
you was
that
a
they don't
loop
want to be in the
dancer,
business anymore.
Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you don't want to hear that all the time anymore.
Well, maybe you don't want to make turkey legs. That's all I'm saying. Maybe you finna be something different
All
than a
right,
turkey
so
leg
that's the
hut.
takeaway.
It's like me saying, I don't want to smoke weed no more or whatever. And then my kid starts smoking weed and I start patronizing him about smoking weed. And I was
No,
the biggest
not
weed
if you
head
stop
ever.
smoking weed because you just stopped smoking weed because, you know, it was something you did and you just stopped. What if you stopped smoking weed because you realized something happened to you when you smoke weed or
That's your experience
smoking
still.
weed made you, I don't know, whatever, something bad and your kid does it, it wouldn't only be right for you to warn the kid. If they continue to do it, that's on them.
Warning and control is two totally different concepts.
But they not controlling you though. They just telling you this is not. I'm not. They
That's-
putting their
that's
boundaries
control.
up. They putting their boundaries up. So when you
That's
put your
true.
boundaries up, you controlling people.
Oh, but see, all I'm
I
saying
don't
is
answer that, though.
no. What I'm
Okay.
saying is we're gonna ridicule. Eventually, we're gonna ridicule the black community for not supporting this business that put their boundaries up and that repelled us
there's-
away. And then they're gonna say, "Well, the community didn't, look out for me."
Now if they come out saying shit like
I'm
that, that's
telling
a
you
problem.
firsthand, brother. You have to know your community and you have to be conscious because this is your stronghold. These are the ones that rocked with you when you didn't have it. and you have to make sure that you giving them the same respect that you giving somebody else.
I think Turkey Leg Hut, in comparison to something in Atlanta that we might be able to relate to, would be like a slutty vegan.
Correct.
So what if she came out one day and was just like, yeah, I don't want y'all in here.
She's not doing that. Her whole thing is about being a slut. It's a slut.
But I'm
like,
just saying,
I'm here to be a slut.
I'm just saying,
Slut
as
me
a
out with the burger.
comparison.
Or for example, when you go to Slutty Vegan, it's always a long ass fucking line.
It is.
You could
That's
be like,
always the
man,
case.
why the fuck is it always a long line? Like, but she
the
don't
tur-
give a
that's
fuck.
why- that's
she
why-
can make that shit go faster.
That's the reason why
But
I
she
made
don't give a
that
fuck. This is how I run
comparison.
my business.
That's the
Right.
way I made that comparison, because Turkey Leg Hut mine used to be like that too.
Right. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I
People
mean, if you want to wait,
we stand in line.
So people go to Turkey, they gonna follow the rules.
Right.
You follow the rules of whatever that business. We follow the rules and stand in line for
I
Slutty
never
Vegan.
said that they were wrong for putting their boundaries up. I said, looking forward,
the people could decide what they can
the
do.
people are going to decide. And if you telling me basically, well, I can't come to your spot because I got
Well-
to go put on the
well,
whole
there's
Guess
another-
what?
3-piece suit
But they
before I can walk in your
They're
establishment.
confident enough in their product though. At the end of the day, like that's
But
what that comes down
memes,
to.
the memes on Instagram about it
Thank
are
God for
hilarious.
DoorDash. That's what's going to save them. DoorDash.
The
Oh,
memes
yeah,
on social
exactly.
media about Turkey Leg Hut are hilarious. It was this meme, and it were these dudes, and they were dressed fly as hell. They had on top hats and everything.
Well, they headed to
and
the
the
Turkey Leg
caption
Hut.
said, "Just me and my boys on the way to Turkey Leg Hut."
That's wild, bro.
Yo, I was screaming because
That is wild.
But you know what? There's 3 or 4 bars on that same street.
That
If
was
you don't
actually
want to go to Turkey Leg Hut, go somewhere else.
That's
5015.
one restaurant, yeah.
5015 is right down the street. 5015 be lit. They got good food and everything. You can keep it moving.
So now that changes the whole dynamic. If they're trying to position themselves away from that and funnel people to a different situation because it sounds like they got a strip.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's brilliant. Then
Yeah.
I
Another
changed everything I
black-owned
said.
business?
Just
It's-
I take
5150 is
because
another black-owned business.
Yeah.
but
5015.
so they're doing it on purpose. They want to repeal.
That may be it. That's what I'm saying. You have to put everything into perspective. People that weigh in on stuff aren't looking at the whole thing.
As long as there's another solution.
Yeah.
To, keep them close.
Yeah, I mean, downtown is right there. You know, corporate people could be coming.
Tourists
Those people
still
that are
gonna come.
yeah,
Right.
tourists are
Tourists,
still
I
going to
want
come.
to go. I want to go now.
Of course,
mean,
I
I've been
want to
wanting to
go.
go.
I definitely want to go down.
I've been wanting to go, but I'm gonna go. Like
I
go as a
deliberately
tourist.
haven't been because I don't like waiting on lines. That's just one of my things. I waited on so many lines growing up, going to this club and that's and like all that. I just don't wait on lines. But I'll go when y'all go. I'll
Man.
take y'all.
I guess the restaurant is popular now to the point people are flying in just to go eat there.
I think it's just a point
probably- they
where
don't-
people go there, and that's just one of the places they hit up because if you're
man.
going to Houston, the turkey legs ain't what you trying to see, baby.
What you in Houston doing? What you
You
tell us
going
what
to
you
the
doing?
strip club?
Oh my,
Yeah.
we right into the.
You going
fun.
to the mall? You going to all the day parties?
How much?
all the-
How much does it cost? I want to go to Houston. I just want to budget properly. How much would it cost?
It's
me?
like 50% off of night in Atlanta. I'll tell you that.
Really?
It's not as hell no. It's nowhere near as expensive. The drinks are not as expensive. The entry fees are not as
So
expensive.
how much money would you? How much money would you suggest someone have?
You can have
to
as
pay?
much as you want or as little as you want because
what's
your
the least-
budget
what's the
your
minimum?
budget could determine where you go. If you only have $100, you could go out and have a great time because you're not going to pay. You're going to go everywhere that's free to get in, everywhere that has a $5 drink special, and you're still going to have a great time because everywhere plays the same songs, has the same crowd. The women in Houston are gorgeous. There's nowhere you're going to go when it's a bunch of ugly girls. Everybody dresses like what they talking about on this thing. You're going to have a great time. No matter where you go, no matter how much money you have, you're going to find something to do. If you want to spend $5,000, you can do the same thing on a different level, but you're still going to see the same kind of people. You're still going to play the same drinks.
Right.
You're still going to hear the same song, but you're going to do it on the 50th floor at a hotel instead of at the, you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
You're still going to go to the same strip club, or maybe you go to the cheaper strip club, but it's still going to be a beautiful women. You might be in the hood or you might be downtown, but you're still, you go. They have something for everybody in Houston. Atlanta kind of tries to make this elitist thing where, but it's not like that there. That's why they got to tell you don't wear flip-flops because you can fall in everywhere in Houston with flip-flops on. Where you going? It's 190 degrees out there.
But you can't do none of that at a turkey leg.
But you will not be going to the turkey leg. All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap it up. I hope everybody enjoys their week. Thank you for coming and contributing. You have a free invitation to come back whenever you want. We love to hear from y'all. I still didn't get a chance to read any comments. But anyway, follow us on CTD_ATL. Thank you, So Mississippi Candles. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.